Hey everyone, so today's video is my updated entire photocard collection. I haven't filmed one of these in like a year and a half, and in that one I didn't even do commentary, so it's probably been like 2 years since I filmed a full flip through, and not gonna lie, I'm kind of scared for how long this is gonna take. But what better way to ring in the new year? So we're just gonna go ahead and get started because this is probably gonna take forever. So starting out with ateez. If you've watched this channel literally at all, ateez is my alt group, biggest collection, pretty much what I mostly dedicate all my money towards. So this is binder number 1 of 4. I used to have 5, but I kind of tried to condense them down a bit because having 5 ateez binders was kind of freaking me out. Although I know I'll have to start a new one soon, so I don't really know what the point of that was. But yeah, this is binder number 1. And this binder holds Treasure Series up to Fever Part 2. I have not looked at these cards in so long, so yeah, trip down memory lane. But yeah, this opening page is just from the first tour of theirs I ever went to, and then I have these freebie group cards that I bought somewhere. And then the first actual page of this binder are all of the early era group cards. Then we go into all of Treasure Series. I collected all of these so many years ago, like in 2020 or something. So all of these are from then, including all of the early MMTs before pre-order benefits like took over the world. This page, I'm still missing Hongjun and Mingi. I technically have Hongjun, but I'm not going to store it until I get the Mingi card, but I low-key forgot about these. Then all of these. This is like one of the prized possession pages I have in my whole collection, is this set of MMTs. Also these. This is also one of my favorite pages ever. I've said that in like every photocard collection video, but I love these cards so much. The OG anniversary cards. And then these MMTs, this is also one of my favorite cards in my whole collection. Then Fever Part 1. In some of my old collection videos, I have gone on many rants about how much I hated these cards at the time, but I don't know, I've kind of come around to them. They've kind of grown charm to me over the years, especially this page. I never disliked this one. But yeah, I have a couple of famous rants about how much I hated all of these cards, but collected them at the time. Then the MMTs. Then these are some of the first pre-order benefits that ever existed. This is back when POBs were like 1 photocard per week and multiple stores had the same photocards, which is crazy to even think about now. Then we have Fever Part 2, which Mingi was not in, that's why all of these cards are in 7 layouts. So there was 9 album cards per member. This is my favorite set. And then these were the MMT cards. Then more POBs. This era I collected a ton because it was really easy. I remember when misc would give you 2 cards per album, which was wild to think about. Sometimes I forget I have all these cards because I've been collecting ateez for so long, and since a lot of these binders are complete, I don't really add to them anymore, so I forget which sets I even collected. And then this page is for non-full group sets, which I do for every era, where I basically will collect one of San's cards and then like a matching member for each one of his, but they're not always the same member. It's literally just whoever's card I like the most with San's, except for this exception. I have this Yeosang here. And then these were some merch cards for Fever Part 2. And that is the end of this first binder. All of these early era treasure cards are some of my favorite in my whole collection. I just have a lot of sentimental attachment to them, and these are the cards that I collected when I was first getting into them. On this channel over the years, I've pretty much documented like every single one of these cards I got, except for a few. Then next up, second ateez binder, which has, I think, Fever Part 3 up until maybe Outlaw. It has this little ot8 photo on the front, and these little pre-order benefit postcards. And then starting at Fever Part 3, I started collecting album cards more selectively, so I don't always collect ot8 for album cards if I don't love all the sets as a whole. Sometimes I'll just collect member pages, so I did that for this era. So I have San's page, Wooyoung, Yuno, and Seonghwa. Collected Yuno for this era because I loved his reddish hair and I loved all these cards. Then these are pre-order benefits, where I collected those same 4 of these 2 sets. And then same thing with this one. This is one of my favorite pages. Love these 2 sets together. Then this page is kind of random. I just collected these Yuno cards instead of San because I did not like San's short hair in this era. That's why this one is a bit different. Then more matching sets. And then this set is like one of my favorites because of these iconic cards. Then this page, I kind of took some cards from and reordered it, so that's just random. Then we go into Fever Part 3's ot8 sets, which is honestly some of my favorite ot8 sets of any era ever. This era kind of started it all with the really expensive photo cards, especially with Seonghwa's pink hair. But these are some of my all-time favorites, especially this page. This one, I honestly could probably list the names of all these. I probably still have a lot of them memorized, but don't really think that's important. Iconic Fake Star, the ultra iconic K-pop store Hollows. These are my favorite sets of the whole era too. Apple Music. And then these were just some merch cards. Then we move on to Fever Epilogue. This is actually a pre-order benefit, I think, but I put it here because it looks better than the actual album card that was supposed to go here. But yeah, for this era, I just collected top 3. So San's page, then Seonghwa, and then Wooyoung, then Pobs. I have 2 of that one intentionally. But yeah, this mostly collected San and Seonghwa for this era. This is one of my favorite pages. And then more Pobs. Then my ot8 sets. Love this set because it's the Turbulence music video outfits. Didn't collect that many for this era because most of them either weren't my fave or I just collected top 2 Pobs instead, so I didn't collect ot8. Then next up is Movement era, which is really special to me because I did a fan call with San in this era. And same thing for this one, I just collected my top 3 for their album cards because I didn't really love this era's album cards. They were kind of all the same and bland. But these are the IDs, then San's page, Wooyoung's page, and Seonghwa. Then matching Pop sets, then these ones, and then these ones. This is one of my favorite pages. I think it looks really good together. And then ot8 sets for this era, where I collected a ton. This is one of the best ot8 sets. This is the set I got for winning the fan call. And then I have 2 sets of this just because I wanted to, because I really like them. And then this is a travel package set from Tour. And then the last 2 sets of Movement era. And that is this binder. So yeah, it was Fever Part 3 to Rolled EP1. Third ateez binder is this one, which is in a newer Meow Cafe 3-inch binder. I took off the little strap because I didn't really think it was necessary, and it was super full, so it was making the strap kind of hard to put on and off. And this binder holds spin-off through, I think, Will era, and I also have this really cute Outlaw keychain of Woosan, and then this card holder. So when spin-off came around, I decided to go back to collecting ot8 because I really liked these cards and they were super easy to collect. Also, I'm pretty sure just yesterday was the 2-year anniversary of this song. Yeah, I have ot8 for all of these sets. Those were the Witness version cards, and then the blanket set. Then these were the Polka album cards. I typically don't like concept cards, but I only stored these because I pulled all of them, so why not? But I also hate that they're PVC. I might take these out one day because they're kind of not my favorite. But This was the version A, and then the selfies, then the other set of selfies, then version Z, the PVC selfies, and then the regular selfies. Then matching pre-order sets, and I didn't collect that much for this era either, in terms of ot8 sets or just top 2 sets, but I have a few. Most of them were Make Star. And I have the iconic bunnies, and then these ones, and then the units and the special San and Seonghwa cards. Then next up is Outlaw era. So the first page I collected all of San's units and then Uyang's units. Then for this era I collected my top 3 for album cards, but instead of doing solo member pages I just combined them since they had such a strange amount of cards with this era. So these are the 6 regular album cards, and then these 6 were the Polka album cards, and then there was a couple sets from each that I didn't store, like the ones where they're holding that little flame, and then there's the other version of these that I didn't store because I just decided to store this one ot8 set. I don't know, this era's album cards were really strange to me. There was like a billion and I kind of didn't love it, so yeah. Then for one of the other platform versions I collected ot8 of the jacket cards, and then I have an ot8 set of these. These were those little trading card sets that each member had where I just turned one of the 6 around to show the back. Then moving on to POBs. These are my matching POB sets, so some San and Seonghwa, and then these ones. These ones all kind of match together. Then these last pages. I collected a ton for this era because Outlaw had so many cards. Then next up, ot8 sets, where I didn't collect that many for this era either. Then this was the last one. And then last era in this binder is Will era, which I think this is the most ot8 sets I've ever collected for an era, is this one. It's also wild that this binder is 3 inches and it only holds 3 eras. That is so something. But yeah, this first page is just some of the digipack cards. And then I collected ot8 for this era as well because it was really easy to, and the cards were really cheap, and I bought so many albums. These were the Polka album cards. Then I collected the standing cards. These were the US exclusives. Love, love, love this Target set. Then this is the start of all my ot8 pages. This is probably the most I've ever collected. Basically, they just kept coming and coming and coming, and I just kept buying them because they were super cheap on Mercari Japan. Love this set. Some of these were kind of impulse buys because they were so cheap. One of the best sets of the era. These ones, I think these are technically like related to tour, but they're in the same outfits from the era. That was all the ot8. Then these are POB sets. These are some of my favorite cards that have ever existed, the ones with the fish plushies, because fish are my favorite animals. Then these ones. This page is kind of empty. I need to put something else on here. And I have this set, which is very yellow. Then this page, which is pink and blue. These are so adorable. And then this page, which love so many of these. And that is it for this binder. I cannot believe only 3 eras are in this 3-inch binder. It's like, despite me having this many ateez cards and like 4 binders, I actually am extremely selective when it comes to the sets I collect and album cards in general, like in the grand scheme of everything they release. And since I'm not a completionist, it is extremely helpful for my wallet. And then the last ateez binder, which holds Golden Hour Part 1 and merch. Golden Hour Part 2 will eventually be put in here, because I'm pretty sure it will still fit, but after that it will be full. And kind of going off of what I was just saying the last binder, even though I collect so much for ateez, it's semi-manageable because I've downsized almost all of my other collections except for ateez and cravity. So even though I'm spending a lot on this collection, it's most of all my money is getting directed towards this as opposed to splitting up amongst so many of the other groups I used to collect. And with this binder, starts with Golden Hour Part 1. For this era, I only collected San and Wooyoung's album cards. It was like super selective. So that's San's page, and then Wooyoung. The top 6 are the regular album cards, and then the bottom ones are 3 of the 4 of my favorite selfies from the digipack. Because in what universe is there 1 out of 8 per member's digipack? Like, that's horrible. So yeah, and I just collected the selfies. Then I collected ot8 for this Polka version set, and then the selfies. And then this was like a merch set, I think, but I just put it in here because it's the same era. Then this is where my ot8 sets start. So these were the US exclusives, and then Korean sets. This era, I didn't collect that many, but all the ones I collected were super adorable, and some of the best ones. So little dog plushies, and the Care Bear and Kirby hats, rain jackets, the Red Riding Hood and Wolf. And these cards are all super recent. Literally only put these away in my most recent storing videos. So all these cards are super fresh in my mind. Then this was from their Work to Live photo book. Then I collected these 2 unit sets. Then this page is here for some cards I was actually going to add retroactively, but I haven't stored them yet. And then these were my matching pop sets. So this is San and Wooyoung's page. Then these ones are San and Yosong. And then San and Seonghwa. Usually I don't intentionally put each member together, like they're usually pretty random with who I pick, but for this era I kind of laid them out so that each member would have their own dedicated page, which I think looks really good. Then this is where merch starts. This used to be its own binder, but for the sake of condensing, I just merged these 2 together. And the first set of all those merch cards are all so old, but these are some of the baby cards from Anniversary. I just have these 4. Then these are some of their really old Japanese cards. Then Dreamers. This is like one of my favorite cards of all time. These are some of their older concert photo books, merch items, etc. These are from their 2021 Season's Greetings. It's my goal to collect ot8 of this one day. I have 6 out of the 8, but I kind of don't really think about these cards, so one day I'll do it. Also, for some reason, there's like purple fillers in some of these pages. I put them in there years ago, like literal years, because I thought it was fun and cute, but now it's just random. Then some of these hidden map photo cards. Genuinely forgot this even existed, but they're fun and double-sided. Then it goes into ot8 sets. I used to keep ot8 sets separate from non-ot8 ones, but then slowly as the binder continued, I just started mixing them all because I didn't have the energy to separate it. But these are from their very first Season's Greetings. And a bunch of their original merch sets, like these name tag cards. Always will love these. This is one of their fan kits. I separated these by member instead of ot8. These are some of their photo books, fan kits. These are some IDs and these little custom ID holders I made. Also, at some point around here or so, I started getting super selective with merch products. Like, not even just buying, like, summer photo books because it comes with the ot8 set. Like, I just really kind of dialed back on all merch. So, if anything is in here, I really wanted it. Or it was super cheap. One or the other. And then this page is one of their Wonderwall collabs. And this is one of my favorite pages in my whole binder because I have both of these jackets because I, bought the real jacket. And this is my favorite jacket in my whole collection. This jacket is my personality in real life. So love these cards so much. I have these 4 because, I like hosted a group order and just kept all 4 of these. And then I claimed this round 3 separately. And we have some of these summer package and other photo book cards. This is one of my favorite pages ever. This page is also so expensive. Like, all these cards are pre-order benefits or random pulls. So this page is actually so expensive. Then I have some tour cards. I have this Wooyoung page by himself, and then I have the San and Seonghwa page. A lot of my tour cards, I put in these butterfly hollow sleeves just to test them out, and I mostly did it on all of the tour cards, or cards related to going to tour. And this is one of their Season's Greetings sets. There's some wintry themed cards, and these are broadcast cards. Then This was a Valentine's Day set. This was from a Japanese album, fan kit. I think this was a summer photo book, Christmas cards, season's greetings. Then this was Japanese album. I collected so much for this because this is like the cheapest Japanese cards they have ever had. Love this set. And then more recent tour cards. So these ones, and then these 4 are from the actual tour I went to. Then another Japanese album. I think this was an ateez merch set, and then a fan meeting set. Then in the back, I have some of my really rare postcards and larger inclusions. Not these front two, they're just here as a divider. But I have ot8 of these anniversary MMT postcards. These are my prized possessions. I remember collecting these like 4 years ago, and literally some of my most treasured items. So yeah, I have Son and Wooyoung at the front, and then I have all the other 6 members after that. Then I have the Japanese version of these postcards of Son and Yosong, and then I have the Son and Wooyoung broadcasts from Answer. These are some of my all-time favorite items. I do have a huge inclusions binder for ateez, but I only put the really rare ones and valuable ones in my actual photocard binders. Yeah, that was my 4th large ateez binder. I do have a lot more ateez cards, but they're just not in my main collection, which is what I refer to these large binders as, is my main collection. Then I have lots of other cards I just kind of collect on the side, but I'm super particular in what cards I put in these large binders, especially when it comes to the matching POB sets. Sometimes, like, I really like Wooyoung or Seonghwa's POB, but it doesn't look as good with Son's in the way that my brain wants them to look. So I'll still collect it, but they don't get stored away. It's honestly really confusing how I lay out my pages, but my brain can't really help it. But still on ateez, I have all 3 of these binders with just random assorted ateez cards. So this first one is a POB binder. Basically, all of these cards have absolutely no rhyme or reason. They're just overflow cards that I wanted to keep, and they didn't go in my main collection, which are those large binders. So pretty much starting at like Fever Part 1 all the way to current era. Except I haven't put a few things in here because I kind of forget about this binder sometimes. Yeah, they're just cards that I want to keep, but put them here. And it's actually kind of ironic, some of these cards in here are actually super rare and valuable, and they're kind of just rotting in this binder, but it's just the most easy place for me to put them all. Okay, that's Fever Part 1, Fever Part 2, Fever Part 3. These cards are like adorable. I actually want to put these somewhere and not just have them sit in this binder. And then I have dupes of all of these, which are super rare and valuable. I want to, like, I don't know, put these in deco top loaders and put them somewhere, but for now they're just sitting here, which is kind of the worst, but I don't know. Then more Fever Part 3. This is Fever Epilogue. Then more Fever Epilogue. This is Movement Era. Same thing, these cards are like super rare and valuable, and they're just sitting in this binder, so I need to find somewhere to do with them. Then these are some of the US exclusives that I collected but didn't really care about. Yeah, more from Spinoff. And then this is Outlaw Era. This is Will Era. And then Golden Hour Part 1. And that's everything in here. So yeah, there's like a lot of really good cards in here that I genuinely like. They just, for some reason or another, are not in those other binders. Then next up is this collect book, which just has dupe album cards or other types of album cards that are not stored in my main binder. So like that binder right there was POBs, and this one is regular album cards. So some Son dupes from EP3, dupes of Anniversary. Then this is Fever Part 2, Fever Part 3. So like some of these, like these cards are all dupes, and these cards are just cards for the other 4 members who I didn't collect for this era, but I still wanted them. Then more Son dupes. I have a lot of this. Then Epilogue. This is movement. Then spin-off dupes. Basically, I just had so many extra albums that I have so many extra cards that I just want to keep for no apparent reason. And then some from Outlaw. And yeah, that is this. Just random ateez cards to hold on to. Lastly, for ateez, I have this little collect book full of mostly merch cards. So yeah, this is just a Japanese card. This is from photo books, season's greetings, birthday merch, Japanese album, more birthday cards. I have like a bunch of San from every year. These were, what was this? Winter merch. Then rest of the members of this that I didn't store. Japanese card. And then more random cards that I've just decided to put in here. Yeah, that is this one. And those are all the ateez cards I have stored away. Currently not stored away, it's just Golden Hour Part 2, but mostly it's up to date. Kind of unnerving how big my ateez collection is, but at least I've been doing this for like over 4 years, so I mean, it didn't grow overnight. That's the only thing keeping me kind of sane about how large it is and how much money I've spent on this collection. Okay, and finally another group. So this is my second largest collection, second favorite collection. My boys Cravity, they're in this 12 pocket Meow Cafe binder. In my literal most recent video, I set up this binder to collect Taeyong, who I hadn't previously collected. So this is like the first time this collection is different in one of these, but if you're new at all, I collect Serum, Jungmo, Mini, and Taeyong, and this collection is literally one of my favorite collections because it's so consistent and I love all their cards, love Cravity so much, it's so easy to collect them, and yeah, this collection just makes me super happy. So these are some of their very first cards, Season 1, some merch cards, Season 2, Season 2 Pobs. Also, Cravity is one of the only collections that I put in clear sleeves because I think Cravity photocard backs are superior. Starship knows what to do with their photocards. Everything about this collection just is so great. For this collection, I pretty much have every single card except 2 secured. There's just a couple still on the way, but otherwise it is complete. So yeah, this is just some merch cards. Season 3. Season 3 Pobs. This is one of my absolute favorite pages. More merch cards, more Season 3 Pobs, summer photo book, and then for their most recent albums with units, I just kept my pages in the 9 pocket layout and then just added some fillers. So the Awakening, then Pobs. This is like the one era where I still have all my cards on the way. We have Season's Greetings. Fan Meeting. This is one of the 2 cards I'm still missing. This is Sea Crew, their very first set. Liberty in Our Cosmos. Then Pobs. This Wubin card right here is just here because I haven't bought the Jungmo yet because it's really, really expensive. So for now, it's just a placeholder. This is New Wave. And then Pobs. This is another Season's Greetings. This is Groovy Era or Masterpiece. Then we have Pobs. This is one of my favorite Cravity eras. And this is one of their fan meetings. Then tour cards. Summer Sea Crew. And I actually have this card on the way after looking for it for so many months. Finally can complete this page. And then this is the last page of some Japanese cards and photo book cards. And that is everything in this binder. This is just a 1.5 inch binder, so I went ahead and got 2 Cravity binders so I would always have room to grow. And also you can probably tell, but these are the slim pages. That is my first Cravity binder. And then we have the second binder, which is much more empty. And this is Sun Seeker era. So we start with the unit cards, then album cards, And this is the only other card I'm missing for this whole collection, so still looking for this one. Then all the pobs. Love this page so much. It's so cozy and Christmassy. Then this is a Japanese album. Some tour photo books. Winter Sea Crew. And again, this is one of my favorite pages of this whole binder. Especially these photocard backs. Evershine era. Then pobs. And then still have a couple more sets on the way. And then their most recent fan kit. And already ready to be stored away in my next video. I have some cards from their most recent comeback and a bunch of their other merch releases I've collected since then. And yeah, that is my Cravity collection. Super easy to collect. It's almost always up to date, except for right now where I just very recently picked up Taeyong. But he's pretty much almost done, except for 2 cards. So the second I get those will be the best day of my whole life. And then for Cravity, I also have this little collect book where I put some of their group cards and other miscellaneous cards. So I have a bunch of their ot8 group cards at the beginning, and then some of their other unit cards from merch items. Then I have this signed serum card, some other pobs of his, and just merch cards. And some other cards just throughout the eras that I collected for him, but not my other members. And that is everything for this little collect book. And then my last A4 size binder is for my enhypen collection. This cover right here and this cover are still 2 of my favorite collages I have ever made. Literally will never remove this cover ever. This is absolute peak to me. And for enhypen, for the first couple years I collected them, I actually collected my top 3, who are Sunwoo, Sunghoon, and Heesung, but for the last few eras or so, I've just dialed it back to only collecting Sunwoo. Enhypen used to be one of my old groups, and I still love them a lot, I just don't really have the desire to collect top 3 anymore. But I especially love my top 3 collection for the early eras, because I think those are some of their best photo cards. So, Border Day 1. And then for certain cards, I used to collect Jake, because I also used to collect him too. So I was collecting 4 out of the 7 members. And I used to also have aspirations of ot8, but in turn, some of that just resulted in Jake cards for pobs. Then I have Border Carnival, which is actually when I got into enhypen, and this is like my favorite era of theirs, especially the photo cards. And these were the Weverse cards. Then love these cards. And for this era, the bottom set are all pobs. Especially love these ones. And then these were the target cards. And Dimension Answer, same thing. The bottom row was just pobs. I think these were target. Manifesto Day 1. This era was truly something to collect. And I didn't collect the engine versions, I just did the main album cards. And these were all of these selfies that I put together, and then all of the non-selfies together. And then this is where I stopped collecting top 3 at like Dark Blood era, and then I kind of have this like transition page with some pobs and Weverse cards. So these are the Weverse from Dark Blood, which go the next page. These are from Manifesto Day 1, and then these were just pobs in the center. So then for Dark Blood, I just have this Sunwoo page, so the non-selfies, the selfies, I think one of these is Target, one of these is his engine version, I think. Yeah, one of these is engine because that was Weverse, and then this from the engine version. Then this was Orange Blood. Love this photo card set so much. I think these were the matching album cards. One of these was his engine version, and one of these was Weverse. Something like that, but it's very symmetrical. And then the second most recent era, I still need to collect Romance Untold, I think, and then there's Romance Daydream or something like that. I don't know, I'm very behind, and I don't really buy their albums much anymore. I kind of just buy his full set on Macari, so I need to get on that, but I'm not really in a rush because this collection is kind of in the back of my mind. Then I have this page of pobs, one from each era, so Border Day 1, Carnival, Dimension Dilemma. These cards are some of my like prized enhypen cards because they're super rare. I think it's like YZY round 2 or something. I don't know. Love these so much. Love this card so much. Yeah, that. And then these were some merch cards that I used to collect. I used to be really into collecting merch for them and like their uniform cards and all that kind of stuff. So that's what all of these are. And then these were something else. Sometimes I would collect Jake because he was just really cheap. Sometimes I collect Heesung. Sometimes I collect Sungoon. It really just depended. So like for this Japanese album, I have Sunwoo and then Heesung. Then I have group cards and some units. These units were like so precious to me because it's actually my top 3 together. Then one of their first fan meetings, I have Sunwoo and Heesung, Jake. Then the Polaroids and these special cards. And then another set of trading cards, the full selfie set. Loved these so much. And then I kept ot8 for the flower cup set. And then I have Sunwoo's set, Sungoon, and Jake. Then I have this page with some of the units. I think these are from the collect book, and then I'm not sure which release this was, but it was my favorite cards from this release, so I had to get both of those units. Then I think this was from their first deco kit. I have the Polaroid sets, and then the units. And this was their second deco package, and I think this was from the first one. I don't know, I kind of condensed these pages to only keep my top 3. And then these were from their light stick. This was their first anniversary or second anniversary, not positive. And then one of their season's greetings. And then this was from their first Little Wishes Christmas box. And this is about when I stopped collecting merch for them. And then like years later, the very next ot8 set I have is from their memorabilia webtoon album. Love these cards so much. I'm like really into anime and manga and that kind of stuff right now, so this like character illustration cards are so special to me right now. So love these. And then I have these Polaroids in the corner. And then at the very back I have these like neck pillow cards from like literally pre-debut. So yeah, that is my whole enhypen collection. I'm honestly really behind on collecting Sunwoo right now, but this is pretty low prio and he's not that hard to collect after the fact, so I just keep it really casual. But I still like keeping this collection going because Sunwoo is still one of my top idols in all of K-pop. I honestly would say he's like my 3rd ult, so yeah. And I don't ever really desire getting rid of these other 2 collections because I worked so hard on this and I love these cards so much. I think enhypen have some of the best photocards in K-pop, so even though I'm not moving forward with these 2, I still love this collection. Also, strangely, in a time where I'm like not as into enhypen, I have so many friends who ult enhypen, and these are like actual in-person friends, so I'm still very much into enhypen and like experiencing liking a group with other people. And now the next part of this collection update will be all of my A5 binders, which I have a bunch. So we're gonna start all those now. First one would be CIX. So I don't really know what the future of this collection is, particularly because CIX is kind of in like a rocky spot, but anyway, I collect Sungoon, who is one of my top biases in K-pop. His first page is kind of blank, but I just have this one group card, and I collect him in spreads, and I pretty much try to collect all of his pobs, or at least all the ones I like. So this is the first era, so chapter 1, chapter 2, and then this is one of his MMTs that's like super rare. Then chapter 3, and for all these upcoming eras, I keep all of the main album cards on this page, and then pobs starting on the second page. So yeah, it's chapter 3, Jungle. This is my favorite CIX era. Then this is chapter 0, album cards, pobs. And I try to keep them in little layouts so like the matching ones will be next to each other. Then Wave era. This era is a little bit different where the album cards are going across the top and then I have matching pobs on the bottom. So each page is their own concept. The rest of the album cards, then more pobs, then these match, then the rest, then 4, 5, 8 era album cards, some pobs, and then some more. And for all these pages, I pretty much collected a card on Pokemarket to fill the last spot, because on a lot of these pages it ends on 3, and I just like to fill up the 4th spot. Then this is Save Me, Kill Me era. I loved all the pobs for this era. They were all so unique and different. So album cards, then pobs, this set, and all of these ones. And then their most recent era, which I haven't really collected much for because I feel kind of weird about this collection right now. Yeah, this was the album cards, and then I have 2 pobs right now, and I have 2 more bought currently, so they're going to go right here. And those are all the album cards and pobs. Then at the back, I have some of their first few album group cards and some merch cards. And then this is a fan kit, and these are all concert cards. And then this is from one of their season's greetings. Yeah, that is everything for this collection. I love collecting Sungoon so much because he's like really easy to collect, and CIX is really cheap to collect. It's just kind of unfortunate everything going on with their group right now, but I still love this collection. and I'll probably keep continuing it. It just kind of depends on how I feel. Then next up we have ZB1, which I've kind of taken a break from collecting, but all these collections are kind of subject to change depending on if I really like a comeback and decide to get back into it. So this first page starts out with these 2 unit cards, and then my top 2 with these cute egg cards. And then for a decent amount of time, I was collecting my top 4, so Hal, Hanbin, Tere, and Gyubin, and I was putting them in spreads, like going across the top, so this layout really worked out for these type of pages. So this is their first album, Youth in the Shade, then the second set, and then the Digipack cards, and then one of the pop sets I really liked, Panda ones. And this was one of their trading card sets, so I have the first 2, and then these ones, which were my favorite, and then the last one, which I put with their fan kit cards because I thought they all kind of looked good together. Then we have Melting Point, these were the Digipack cards. And then for this era, I only collected my top 2, so Hanbin and Tere, and then the third set, and then a couple of Pobs. These were my favorite, the Apple Music ones. And then these were from their Light Stick. And then we have You Had Me at Hello. These are the Digipack cards, which are my favorite. And then I only have a couple cards for this right here. So my top 2 from this one particular set, and then their matching unit card. And then I have a few cards for Cinema Paradise. I'm just really behind on storing those, and they're kind of random. So that's all I have for this collection right now. I don't know how much this is going to grow in the future, but I really love what I currently have, especially the like spread layouts. So yeah, that was my ZB1 collection, kind of small. Then next up we have a collection that I haven't added to in forever because it's basically complete and I don't think they're ever going to have a comeback again. So yeah, that would be my wjsn collection. So this is basically the only girl group I collect thoroughly, and they were my old girl group. Still kind of are, but like, you know, wjsn aren't really doing anything, so yeah. I collect them very selectively, but it is complete for everything I wanted, and I collect my top 4, which is not really a good example page, but my top 4 are Sola, Dawan, Unso, and Yeonjung. But for these first 2 eras I started with, I just have 2 members each, but then starting here, it's where all 4 of them are, and for these 2 eras, I collected it kind of selectively, so for 2 sets, I collected all 4, and then for the third set, just Dawan and Yeonjung, and then for Would You Stay, I collected only Sola and Unso of this set. So I have all 4 of them on this page, but they're from different versions. And then this was the other 2 sets. This is like my favorite one. And then this one. Then we have For the Summer, where I only collected 1 card per member. Then we have As You Wish, aka the best song ever. So have all of these complete. Love this set. Then we have Neverland. Also loved these cards. And for this era, I only collected 4 out of the 6 per member. And this Yeonjung is not the one that goes with this set, but I preferred these ones. So that's why this one's different. But yeah, I collected 4 of the 6. And then some unit cards, where almost all of them are in together. Then a natural. This is strangely one of the hardest eras to get cards for, even though these cards are kind of everywhere. Just certain cards from this era were just non-existent to find, especially the Solas. So, but I have this complete. So happy. Then some of the unit cards. And then I have this K-Town set. And then also these 2 Starship Square cards. Then wjsn the Black, which is actually how I got into wjsn, was through this subunit. So I have Sola and Unso's cards. And then their units they share. Then these are some Pops, so these were Starship Square. And that was the first binder. Then we have binder number 2, which starts out with Sequence, aka pretty much their last comeback, I would assume. So I have all the cards from this, then the jewel case cards, and then all the units. Then Pops for this era where I actually collected a bunch. So like Starship Square, these were some kind of lucky draw. And then for some of these sets, I just collected Dawan and Yeonjung, and then for some I collected top 4. It's kind of just random. But yeah, I have these. I think this was like K-Town and Beat Road. Then I loved these because these were their unit photo cards. So this is like Stronger Unit. This was wjsn the Black. I have some more of these. And then after that, this binder moves on to merch cards. So this is one of their fan meetings or something like that. but I love these cards. They all look so good together. This is their summer photo books. This is the season's greeting. We have season's greeting pobs, and then some of their fan meeting trading cards, and then one of the photo card sets from that. Then more cards. These were from one of their fan kits, aka like my favorite fan kit they've ever had. And then I have some random trading cards in here. I have the whole set, but I just stored some of my favorites. And this was one of their most recent photo books. Then Season's Greetings from like 2 years ago. Season's Greeting Pobs. And then some more of the inclusions from that. Then these were some Dawn Season's Greeting Pobs. These were from, I think, a fan meeting. And then these tickets from Neverland, which I never got unsos, but I have Yorm here. Yeah, that is my whole wjsn collection. It's pretty much complete because they're not really active anymore, and I don't really have intentions of collecting other stuff for them. I worked on it for so long. I'm pretty sure I started this collection on January 1st of 2022, and then I finished it sometime in 2023, or I'm not really sure when I finished this, but I know I haven't sorted anything in a while because it's been complete for a while. Then, while we're doing girl groups, I have this really miscellaneous girl group binder, which a bunch of different groups that I sort of have random cards for. So it starts out with Ive, where my two biases are Eugen and Liz. I have very, very random cards in here. I used to collect them, but I stopped collecting them a long time ago, and I just kind of have the cards that I really liked. So this was from like Welcome Kit, and then 11. And then I have random pulls and stuff like that from their first albums. So like 11, and then Love Dive. Then I have a Starship Square for Love Dive, and then some Pobs, because this was like some of my favorite cards. And then I think this is still Love Dive, Afterlike. And then I have this random ESO from either Ive or Ive Mine. And then I have these two Apple Music from Ive Switch, which I got at a K-pop store for like $2 each. And then after that, I have Idol, who's probably my like current favorite girl group, but I have some random cards, and my two biases are Minnie and Uki. And also all the groups in this binder are in like debut order. Yeah, I have some Idol cards, and then just random pulls I kept. Then we have Stacy. I used to collect them too, but that didn't last very long. And then my biases were Isa and Sayan. And then I just have some other pulls I just kept. And then these were some merch cards I really liked. Then we have Purple Kiss, another one of my favorite girl groups. I don't really keep up with many groups anymore, and I'm not really a girl group stan, so I just kind of keep random girl group cards that I like because I just like buying their albums casually. Yeah, Purple Kiss, my bias is Chan. Then we have Billy. Not only into Billy, I just really like these cards, so I randomly bought them all on PokeMarket. Then Inmix, my bias is Lily. Then Seraphim, bias is Yunjin. And I just have some other cards I kept. Then, not really into New Jeans, nor do I know much about them, but I wanted the bag that came with this album. So, I just bought Minji's because I liked her cards, but yeah, I really bought this for the bag. And then at the back, I have Twice, but they kind of just stay in here because I have a lot of their cards, and I since downsized a lot of the random ones I had when I was casually collecting Twice. But yeah, I have a bunch of Sana cards, and then just other cards of everyone else. My bias, though, is actually Jihyo. I just like Sana's cards. But yeah, these are some of the older era ones. And then I collected like top 3 of Formula of Love, but I just kept Sana and Dahyun, which is ironic because I just said Jihyo is my bias, and she is, but you know. So yeah, this is all of Formula of Love. And then this was between 1 and 2, where I just have random cards per member that I really liked and decided to keep after I downsized to this. And then Ready to Be, I just have these 2 pages. And then Nyan Solo, really love these cards. And then Jihyo Solo. This is one of my favorite girl group solo albums of ever, so of course had to get these cards. Yeah, that is my really miscellaneous girl group binder. Then next up we have a collection that I really love. It's just kind of randomly in this small binder, but this is my TXT collection. So I collect Taehyun. I've pretty much been collecting him since debut, and I have him complete up until their most recent era-ish. I keep the bigger cards in the front, so like Star and Magic and Eternity, and then all the rest, so Dream Chapter, Magic, Eternity, Blue Hour, Freeze, and then Star Seekers cards, then Fight or Escape, and then Thursday's Child, then some of the bigger cards and the lenties, then Temptation. This is like my favorite era of cards they've ever had. And then Free Fall, the Weverse cards, and then the last era I have in here is Tomorrow, so I'm like one era behind, I think. This is also complete. I have all of them except like the Kino card, but I didn't care about that. And then these are his Weverse cards, and I have these two Japanese cards in the back because I love, love, love this purple hair on him. And yeah, that is this binder. It's literally completely full, so I'm gonna need to get another binder for this. The reason I keep it in here and not like a traditional style binder is because these pages will fit their large cards, and I just like that it can all go in the same binder. So that's why I particularly use this. And then I also have this other binder that's full of his mini tour PC sized cards, which I have way more of these I haven't stored, but this binder's full and I just don't have anywhere else to put them. So yeah, but this is some of their early fan meetings. So Shine by Together. And then I think this was a concert. This was Act Boy. And for this one, I have Taeyeon and Keenan Kai because he's one of my other faves. And then this was Moa by Together. And then I got my top two and units together. And then one of his birthday boxes. And then at the very back, I have the Act Lovesick. And I have some more of these. Like I have another birthday box, and then I have another one of their tour card sets, but I just don't have any room for them, so this one's full. Yeah, that is my Taeyeon collection. And then I also have these cards, which right after I saw them on tour, I was kind of like, yeah, I want to collect top three. So that would be Yeonjun and Hyunin Kai, but I kind of slowed down on that. But I bought a ton of all my favorite cards of theirs just to start out with, to, I don't know, jumpstart. And also a lot of these I already had because I used to keep my pulls and just kind of trade for random cards back in the day. So a lot of these I already had. Some Yeonjun cards I have, and then Kai, Fight or Escape. Then I already had literally all these cards from Thursday's Child. Then I actually bought all these because they're my favorite era of theirs. Like I said earlier, Temptation. So I have Yeonjun's whole set, and then Kai's regular album set, then the Lullaby and the Weverse. And then these were all from Free Fall that I already had. And yeah, just a bunch of random cards that one day I'll get around to actually getting like a 6-pocket binder for top 3. But yeah, that's just the other cards I have. Then next up, we have another boy group who I used to collect back in the day, which is Stray Kids. So for Stray Kids, I used to collect Mino and Hyunjin, but I downsized that ages ago, but then still kept a bunch of the cards, and then sort of picked Stray Kids back up, but super casually because one of my friends ults them, so it's kind of just random how I have this now. And also at this point, I don't really have a bias in Stray Kids. My bias is literally all of these three equally, so I just have very random cards. But from the beginning, I have these unit cards from I Am Not and I Am You, and then Yellowwood. And these are the cards I decided to keep when I downsized this collection ages ago of Mino and Hyunjin. So, early era cards. Then Levanter. Somehow I managed to get both of these lenties. Then Go Live. And this unit from In Life, which is literally my whole top 3. Then for No Easy, I have my top 4 of these double-sided cards, which I love. And then 2 random album cards, and then I actually have these Sub-K cards, which I think are actually really highly sought after, but I bought these from Sub-K at the time with one of my friends and just managed to get these. I think this one is particularly super sought after. Then more cards from No Easy, then the full pop set, then this one from Christmas Evil, then I have 2 of their album cards, and 2 of these Polaroids from this merch release that I thought kind of looked good on this page. Then Ordinary. This album was so easy to collect because you got like multiple cards per album. So I collected my top 4 for all of this. Then Target cards and these little IDs. And then their units. I've since condensed this down to just hold the units of my people in it. And then for Maxident, I condensed a lot of this down too because I knew I was never going to finish this. So yeah, I have the Polaroid and then the Target card for these 3. I never managed to get Hyunjin's. And then I have this set, which is like 1 per member, so they're not all the same set, but I have 1 of each of them. And then these heart cards, which I never finished because I still need to get Hyunjin's. And then for 5-star, I have some random cards of enhypen because I really liked this era's photo cards. And yeah, that is everything for this collection. I don't really collect them much anymore, but sometimes I buy albums in Target and then just trade or keep my pulls because Stray Kids is like fun to randomly buy. And yeah, that is this. Okay, so quick intermission, but somehow my entire WeI collection just didn't film the other day. But for WeI, I collect Junso, and this is the one collection I have where I mix pobs and album cards to make matching pages by concept. So we start out with First Sight, and then Polaroids, some of the pobs I collected for that era. I don't really collect WeI much anymore, but I have been collecting them since debut. Then some of my favorite pobs, especially this one. Then we have Challenge era, where you can see the cards very much are the same concept. I have all the cards, and then the 3 Polaroids and 3 clear cards. Then a few of the pops I have for this era. Then Action era, the 3 Polaroids. Then this blue suit page, this teal suit, white shirt, floral background cards, the pink shirt. Then I also have this pop right here, and this teal suit card on the back, just because I didn't want to start a new page for those. Then the sailor outfit cards, and the bear cards, with also one on the back right here. And that's the first binder of the first 3 eras. And then this is the second Junso binder, which just holds the other 2 eras I collected. So this one starts out with Love Part 1, and again, the album cards are mixed with pobs, so these are the first pages. Mostly the album cards are on the outside, and then there's a pob in the center. And the pink background ones. And then there's a few blanks here and there where I was going to get another pob to fill it. Then I believe these are the last of the album cards. And then from here forward, they're all pobs. I kind of went ham on this era because the pobs this era were great. And this was my favorite page because I really loved this tie-dye shirt and this look. And they're all just laid out where the matching pobs are on the same pages together. So these ones are white shirts. And this is one of my favorite pages because I thought these cards all kind of had a similar look about them. And I like to call this page Behind Stage at Music Shows. Then these ones were all white background, black shirts, then a bunch of just random ones towards the end. And then at this point, his hair was dyed back brown, and the pobs kept going. This one was one of my favorites, and more of the random ones. And then the last 2 pages are from Love Part 2, where I didn't really collect this era, but these were my pulls from that. And then I have 2 Make Star Halloween pobs. And that was my WeI collection. Then next up we have another one of my former collections, which was Monster X. And I also collect Monster X really randomly too, because I used to collect Kion like years and years and years ago. And I got rid of the whole thing, and then I picked them back up, and then my bias changed to Minyuk. So it's just really random what's going on here. But yeah, I have these 2 really old cards from some of their older albums. And then a lot of these cards I still had from when I was selling Kion, and I just kept them anyway, and then I added Minyuk. Yeah, that was like the Connect. Then Are You There? And We Are Here. For these, I have some Kion, some Hyungwon, some Minyuk. These are my top 3, so I just have cards I really liked and just made cute little layouts. Then We Are Here, and then Follow. Then this was Fantasia, which sometimes I put these cards in spreads because I think they look nice. And then Fatal Love. Then One of a Kind. This is my favorite spreads ever, and I actually got the keynotes for these. Then No Limit, and then some like Kino cards of just, randomly Hyungwon and Changkyung because I love these cards. Then Shape of Love, and then a bunch of their group cards from the early eras, which I loved. Then units from all the eras, so Are You There? This is We Are Here, Fantasia, and then One of a Kind. Basically, I collect Minyuk's unit with everybody. That's what's going on here. And then No Limit, Shape of Love, and then I kind of stopped collecting after that, but I'm not opposed to ever getting any more of these cards because I love Monster X size photo cards, and I still love Minyuk, and he just came back from the military, so fully down to keep continuing this collection. Yeah, these are Shape of Love pobs, and then merch cards, and this was a photo book, Kion Solo. And then these are the only small-sized Monster X cards. I have like regular PC size cards. So yeah, these are all from No Limit, and then these are from Shape of Love. And that is my whole Monster X collection. And then second to last binder, once upon a time I collected Jaehyun from NCT, and this is just where I kept all his cards. Again, no desire to ever continue, but I want to keep all his cards because I still like them, and I still like that I collected him. And yeah, it's pretty much complete until maybe Sticker. So yeah, this is the first albums, and this was like NCT 2018. Then this is a merch card. Once upon a time, this Kino was super rare. I actually managed to get this before the reprints. And then Neozone. This is a merch card as well. Then Resonance Part 1, I think. Resonance Part 2. Sticker. Favorite NCT 2021, I think. And then 2023. So yeah, that is what I have of Jaehyun. And then these are a bunch of just random cards from the other members who I love, because like Taeyong and Doyoung and Jungwoo and a bunch of the other members are some of my other faves. So I have all these from back when I was collecting all of this in like 2020. So a bunch of, mostly a lot of Taeyong in here. And then Super M, because never forget Super M. And I used to collect Baekhyun and Ten, so these are some like merch cards, some of my favorite group cards. And then I have this Baekhyun spread of album cards, and then these like tour cards or whatever these were. And then the same thing for 10. And then this Taeyong page, because he's my third bias. And then these were both merch cards. Yeah, that is this NCT and Super M binder. And then the very last binder I have is my old Ace collection from like the one single era I collected them for, but I still love all these cards, and I worked really, really hard to collect all these. So definitely keeping them. And I've since put them in a layout that's like each member has their own little section. So each member had 9 cards each, and then I had 3 pobs per member, so they fit perfectly on 3 4 pockets. So like Dongyun's first 4, and then the next 4, and then the last one, and then these 3 pobs. So that's how each member goes. And then Seyun, then Juni, Byungwon, then Yuchan. And then for this pop set, I only ever managed to collect these 4, so they fit perfectly on this page. And then this was from one of their fan kits. And then some group cards. And then some old Dongyun cards from the harder to collect eras. That is this collection. Still love these cards. This is my favorite Ace era, and kind of when I got into them. Honestly, super proud that I managed to collect all of these in the first place years ago. And yeah, with that, I think we have finally made it to the end. I'm surprised I did this all in one day, because I haven't filmed a full collection video like this in years. We'll see how long this ended up being. I wasn't really thorough or in-depth for any of this, because I don't think it really needed it, but if anyone has any specific questions or comments about any of these groups, literally just leave it down in the comments, and I'd love to get more in detail. And in terms of collecting in 2025, not really much changes from currently, mostly just working on ateez and cravity, and then being super selective with what I collect for all my groups. Really not trying to expand anything else, because I'd rather have larger collections for the groups I really love than have a bunch of random collections that I'm kind of just collecting offhandedly. Obviously, all this is subject to change if and when any comeback I love happens, or if I go see one of these groups on tour. You know, typically I get really obsessed with collecting them again after stuff like that. Let me know down below any of your 2025 collecting goals, or if we collect any of the same groups, or just anything you want to say at all. And if you made it all the way to the end of the video, just leave any emoji down below that has to do with New Year's or 2025. I hope everyone had a happy holiday season, and that everyone has a very Merry New Year. Yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next video.